Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. Welcome to EDM 702 Quality Management for Organizational Excellence. I will be doing chapter preview of chapter 20, benchmarking. Now, there will be 10 major topics to be covered in this chapter, and we will look at the breakdown for each of them in the following slides. The first part is focused on defining what benchmarking is and also the origin of the words. So benchmarking is defined as the process of comparing and measuring an organization's operations or its internal processes against those of a best-in-class performer from inside or outside its industry. And there are several key points to remember about benchmarking, and they are listed as follows. For the next part, 20.2, benchmarking versus re-engineering, we will look at how benchmarking involves partnering with the owner of a best-in-class process so that you might adopt or adapt that process in your operation without having to spend the time and energy to try to design a duplicate of the superior process. Whereas process re-engineering requires you to do the latter on your own without a partner. So process re-engineering can be considered only when it is impossible to use benchmarking. Now, the rationale for benchmarking is that it makes no sense. It's illogical to stay locked in an isolated lab trying to invent a new process that will improve the product or reduce costs when that process already exists. And there are several factors that drive companies to benchmark, which are the first one, commitment to total quality. Secondly, customer focus. The third one, product to market time. And then manufacturing cycle time, as well as financial performance at the bottom line. The next part will cover prerequisites for benchmarking. So before getting involved in benchmarking, an organization should check prerequisites. And these are necessary so that they can proceed any benchmarking efforts. And the prerequisites are listed as follows, starting from number 1 up until number 9. The next section will explore some of the common obstacles to successful benchmarking, and these are drawn from experiences of dozens of companies that explain. The first one would be the internal focus, benchmarking objective that is too broad, unrealistic timetables, poor team composition, settling for okay in class, improper emphasis, insensitivity to partners, as well as limited top management support. 20.6 will cover the role of management in benchmarking. It stated that management itself plays an important role in benchmarking process, and there are several considerations require management's approval before the process can take place, which are commitment to change, funding, human resource, HR, disclosure, and involvement. The next topic is on benchmarking approach and process. So it is relatively straightforward and in sequence, and the steps are listed from step number 1 up until 14, stated as follows. As for 20.8, making full use of benchmarking data. So at the conclusion of the benchmarking project, the data analysis will produce both quantitative and qualitative information. Quantitative information is more towards statistics, and the data is in the form of numbers, whereas the qualitative is more towards the value. It covers such as matters of personnel policies, training, management styles and hierarchy, total quality, maturity, and so on. The next part is perpetual benchmarking, which is an organization must take advantage of hard-won benchmarking experience and keep the effort moving. So this means staying up to date with the best in class through all means, staying current with your own processes as they are continually improved, and benchmarking the weaker processes. And the final part would cover the benchmarking resources. And a lot of sources can help organization with their benchmarking efforts, and these cover several spectrum, such as the American Productivity and Quality Center, APQC, the Internet, trade and professional groups, published trade literature, as well as consultant and universities. That will be the end of chapter 20 preview. See you in the next video. Thank you.